Hello everybody and welcome back to another comic book review. Today we're going to be checking out Batman issue 137 by Chip Zdarsky and Jorge Jimenez. Zdarsky picks up after the events of Gotham War issue 1 and after Batman found out that Roland Gardner, one of Selina's new thieves, was shot dead after Selina sent him out on a heist. This seems to be the straw that broke the camel's back, and Batman goes mental on most of Selina's crew, taking them down harder than he usually would, and doing so puts him at odds with the entire Bat family, who think he's going just a little too hard, especially after everything he's been through recently. This really leads to some of the most perplexing writing, especially from Zdarsky, who so far has been doing a fantastic job on his Batman run. It's been really unique and really fun. Batman decides that Roland dying is the thing that makes him snap and decides to take all of these criminals down. Something which is just so mind-boggling to me, because think of all of the criminals who have died in Gotham or have died in an event that Batman has been a part of or has witnessed or something. Yet this is the one thing that makes him break. Zdarsky does make it clear that Bruce is dealing with Zur and R, and it's fucking with his mind and making him act irrational. But as I said in my Gotham War issue 1 review, it feels entirely too early to bring Zur back, especially in just the last arc. Bruce put him back in the cage and was no longer affected by him and had him sealed up tight. It feels a little like they saw how popular Zur is and how popular it was to bring him back, since a lot of people did like him coming back, and it was mandated that he be written back into the story now, even though it seems like maybe Zdarsky didn't want to and wanted to just put him away for a little bit and then come back to him a little later on, since that would have made much more sense. Alternatively, they could have actually tied this into Night Terrors, with Bruce going into that coma and using that time in the coma to have his mental shielding like degrade or something, or maybe Deadman being in his body too long degraded the mental shielding and Zur was able to not fully escape but assert some dominance over Bruce. Like, you could have done so much with it, but none of that is actually present here, and it's just acted like Bruce is just going off the deep end and just completely acting out of character. So the Bat family all believe that Selina is doing the right thing, and the way it's written is so strange, since they all just 100% believe that what she is doing is right, and then all immediately turn on Batman, almost getting a little bit paranoid by him, since they all say it's only a matter of time before he comes for them in his current state and they need to stop him, which leads them to confronting Batman and fighting him. It goes about as well as you'd expect, you know, Batman fighting his wards, and Batman knows all of their moves and is able to take them down, and it's not until Damian shows up that Batman escapes. This particular part feels like editorial mandate, as we have an upcoming Batman Robin book with Damian and Bruce, and him arriving to save his father just feels like them reminding everyone that that book's coming soon, and if you want to see more adventures of them, you can go pick that up. Jorge Jimenez is back on art and in top form. The book looks fantastic, and the action, despite the questionable reasons behind it, looks stellar. I love his colouring and how he depicts certain characters, especially Zur and R. I liked how he was always just a spectre following Bruce around, sort of like the devil on his shoulder. On top of Batman dealing with his family, Selina, her crew, and everything else that's happening in Gotham, he discovers someone has actually bought Wayne Manor from the bank. I actually really like this part of the book, since Bruce speeds back to the manor to see what's going on, and he begins to get real paranoid, thinking to himself that Selina has bought his house just to fuck with his mind, and on top of that, he has Zur in his mind just kind of goading him on and sort of feeding into his paranoia, and it's trying to convince Bruce that she did indeed buy it. But we soon learn that Vandal Savage is the one who bought it. This was a great swerve in the plot, and I'm looking forward to what role Savage will play in Batman's war against Catwoman, since this could be some 4D chess move by Selina, you know, adding in an unknown factor so it upends Bruce's life and sort of tips him off balance. Or Vandal could have just decided to come fuck around with Bruce Wayne and decide to find out that he's Batman, since apparently that's also happening now as well. It's a really interesting swerve in the plot, and I'm intrigued to see what Zdarsky does with a character like Vandal Savage. Gotham War continued to make Batman's ongoing a kind of mess of ideas that don't really work together, but when you look at them individually, they are pretty cool ideas. Although I'm not a big fan of Batman being this unstable, mainly since it's all stemming from all of this manufactured drama between Bruce and Selina, all of which has happened in the last issue. It's not stemming from the fact that they broke up or have romantic troubles or anything. It's stemming from the fact that she's trying to take over Gotham, and if they just sat down and talked about it for a little bit, they could probably sort this out. Except that's not happening because they need action and stuff to sell books and everything. It's also a real shame because Zdarsky was setting up some really great stuff with Batman before Night Terrors derailed the book, and then this came along. He was setting up some really great stuff with Zer messing with Bruce's mind and Bruce being off balance because of what had happened to him in the multiverse, but that's all just kind of taking a back seat for all of this stuff that's happening with Selina. I'm going to give this issue a 6 out of 10. It was a bit better than the first part of the Gotham War event, but there's just so much happening that it all just kind of drowns each other out, and I can't see how any of this gets resolved in only a few issues that this event covers.